Welcome, everybody. We are here in another interview with an amazing publisher. So, for those who don't know me, I am Laura, and I am here today with Kathryn from Anthropocene Magazine. How are you, Kathryn? Thank you so much for, separating this time, taking this time from your busy agenda to do this with us.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
Well, thank you so much. We are going to be getting to know this amazing lady here today and her magazine, her publication, which is a piece of art for us. And well, we are really excited. So we hope that, all of our publishers that are going to be hearing or viewing this interview will delight with her as much as we do. So, Kathryn, before we actually start, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
My name is Kathryn Kohm. I live in Seattle, Washington, in the United States. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of Anthropocene Magazine, which is a science magazine focused on climate and the environment.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much one more time. So let's start with you. We want to get to know you a little bit first. You, as this creator of this amazing publication, and then we'll be moving forward in the conversation. So the first question that I have for you is, what was your first writing job and how did it influence your career?
Well, it was a long time ago, I have to admit, and I was in graduate school, I was the editor of a tiny publication called the Endangered Species Technical Bulletin. And
okay.
I was in a environmental and forestry program, and I found the journalism bug and I loved it. And it was a way to get the message out. And so I've been creating publications and magazines ever since.
Oh, so this is not your first publication that you created?
My first publication. It is my latest one.
Oh, okay. And how's all of them have been in this environmental?
All of them have been in the environmental and science field.
Well, that's amazing. So you're you're truly doing your part on that topic, industry, field.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, so why did you decide to start a digital publication?
Well, I think the answer is I saw an important niche in the environmental publishing field that I didn't think was being filled.
Okay.
Prior to being the editor of Anthropocene Magazine, I was the editor of Conservation Magazine, which was also an environmental magazine. But I looked around at the field, and there's a lot of environmental publications, and most of them dwell on what's wrong with the world. They have a point. There's a lot of environmental problems in the world.
Right.
But what I saw was that the world went from disheartening to demoralizing really quickly. Okay. And just more bad news was not necessarily motivating people. It was demoralizing people. And so the whole idea behind Anthropocene Magazine is I wanted to do something different. I wanted to flip that narrative on its head. There was also a lot of progress, scientific and technical progress that are being made that people don't know about or haven't heard about.
Right.
I wanted to focus on that. And I didn't want to make it seem Pollyannish. I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, everything's going to be okay, because it won't necessarily be okay.
Right.
But I did want to focus on the progress. So a digital magazine just was the way to have a larger voice and to get going. And I was hired and partnered with Future Earth, which is a large international organization.
Yeah, could you please explain a little bit about Future Earth to us?
It's a large research consortium There are major offices in Paris, Stockholm, Tokyo, Montreal, and in the United States, our office has been in Colorado in the United States, and it's funded by the National Science Foundation in the United States.
Okay.
So I'm part of the US hub, but there are also a bunch of regional centers all around the world for future Earth.
Okay.
So this is
And
flagship
I'm
application.
okay, and I'm sorry, just to understand a little bit better, what does it mean for Anthropocene Magazine to be part of Future Earth?
Well, it's huge. They're the ones who hired me to create it.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
So they are the publisher. It is published by Future Earth.
Okay.
But it's an editorially independent magazine.
Okay, I understand. Well, it is great. So, okay, so Kathryn, we would like to know a little bit more about you. So could you please share with us the most rewarding moment in your career?
Okay, without sounding too redundant, I think it was founding Anthropocene Magazine back in late at the very end of 2016, 2017, because just what I was talking about earlier is I had seen this niche in the field, and I thought it was time to change the narrative in environmentalism and conservation, from being the world is falling apart to we got this thing and we need to develop, we need to encourage and bring together the solutions to these big environmental problems, climate change being the main one.
Right. So you had to change the perspective for yourself as well, right? Because
Indeed.
you had other publications before this one that were also in this environmental field. Were those
But I felt like
publications?
we were always reporting bad news.
Exactly. So
sometimes I would tease or laugh. I would say the narrative, it's worse than we thought. That was kind of the narrative, and I wanted to change that.
exactly. So you first had to go through a change of perspective in your mind, in yourself, to then be able to construct this new publication that you are extremely proud of, as we can see, right?
I'm very proud of it. And the word Anthropocene came along at that time. It had been floating out there. I think it's a little bit of a mouthful. You have to think of it like anthropology. Anthro is humans, and scene is a geological age.
Okay.
And it's the idea that that we are now living in the age of humans. That's what it literally means, Anthropocene.
Okay.
The idea is that humans have become literally a geological force that will leave a layer in the rock like other geological ages. And I was interested not just in the geology of what human beings will leave behind, but the idea that we've become a planet, our species, has become a planetary force. So the tagline that I coined for Anthropocene Magazine, with this forward-looking positive spin, is creating a human age we actually want to live in.
That's amazing.
And that really encapsulates the editorial mission of the magazine. Is I want to bring together, and I am bringing together, some of the most creative scientists, designers, technicians, writers in the world to explore how do we create a human age we actually want to live in.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I mean,
that's what we're doing. So
thank you so much. I think your publication is one of a kind, and we are truly happy to have you, and to have you also in this space so you can spread the word a little bit more about this amazing magazine. So we are happy. Thank you. Well, you have already responded my next question, that was, what is the purpose of your publication? If you would like to add anything, go ahead. If not, well, we could move forward?
No, I think that's right. That's it, is bringing together those experts
Yeah.
to talk
Okay.
about it in a very serious and scientifically grounded way.
Yes. Exactly. Okay. And what are your current plans for the publication?
We've got a new project that I'm very excited about, and we're just launching. It's called The Climate Parables. It's funded by the Vikan Rasmussen Foundation, which is in Denmark. And because we're doing it's international. And what it is this is the first time I've done this in my career. We're dipping our big toe into science fiction.
Oh, okay.
I've always done nonfiction, but we start with this idea that the climate crisis we face is not just a crisis of technology and science, it's also a crisis of imagination. People need to imagine a better world.
Okay, I
So
see.
started with this idea and we played around with it. And what we decided to do is hire some world-class science fiction writers, and we asked them to write stories in the near term, not long term, in the future, where we solve some of our climate problems. And what did the world look like? The idea, and to use real science to get us there. So when I say real science, I don't mean non-fantastical, not that, oh, the human beings colonized Mars. But the real science where we solve some problems. So sometimes I describe it as reporting from the climate reporting from the future.
Okay.
So we've hired them, we've published these stories on our website. And the next thing we're doing is a series of live journalism on stage.
Okay.
We dramatize these stories, these science fiction stories. We're calling it performed journalism. And we have actors and we have animation, and we're putting it on stage. Our first shows are taking place in San Francisco in May.
Okay.
Of just this year. So next month, they'll be live streamed and videotaped. And then we're going to take it to New York, the show to New York. And
wow.
Then there, I hope we'll take it other places.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Well, congratulations on this new project. We hope that everything turns out amazingly for you, for the publication, and that this has like a positive outcome for all of us. So I would like to ask you another thing, like you are talking about this future that we have to imagine to be able to understand a little bit more of what you're talking about in your publication, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you personally imagine that future?
I'm an optimist.
You're an optimist.
Okay. I really am an optimist. I'm realistic. I don't think, like I said, I don't think everything will be okay. But I think the human beings are constantly creating and destroying. And we will figure this out. But part of it is the stories we tell.
Exactly.
If we tell the story that we can figure this out.
Exactly.
And create a human age we want to live in, then we will.
Exactly. You're right. That's amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations one more time. Okay. So, well, coming back to our interview now, we would like to, get a little bit of your wisdom and ask you a few questions. So, what advice would you give to someone starting in this industry?
Mm-hmm. Well, a couple of things. Well, because I have talked to people starting out, you need a niche.
Okay.
You need an editorial niche, and you need an audience niche. And I carved out this niche of solutions climate journalism or environmental journalism. So you need to decide what you can't report on everything. You need either a geographic area or a topic, and you need to specialize in something.
Right.
But even more important, I think you need to define an audience who's hungry for your information. And I've talked to too many people trying to start things, and they say, well, everyone's my audience. My information is so important that it has to get to everyone, and that's a mistake.
Right.
Nobody can get to everybody. And
Exactly.
I think the more successful publications are the ones that put a fence around both their editorial niche and their audience, and they really get to know them, and they really target them.
Okay, well, new publishers that are out there trying to start your publication, please take Kathryn advice. Okay, Kathryn. And another thing, we know that you are partnered with the Institute for Nonprofit News. We are partnered with them as well. So we would like you to explain us a little bit how does this partnership works and which are the benefits that you perceive by being partnered with the INN?
Oh, I've been part of INN, or the Anthropocene Magazine has been part of INN, and I think it's a tremendous organization, and we've reaped a lot of benefits from it, and I just support the very idea of it. The Anthropocene Magazine has reaped huge benefits. We've participated in Newsmatch every year since 2017, and it's been a huge boon for us, and we've seen a real increase in philanthropic support and people willing and knowledgeable to donate to nonprofit journalism. So Newsmatch is huge, but INN does a huge number of other things for us. They do lots of webinars and lots of help. I was on a webinar recently about evergreen content that doesn't go old. It has a longer shelf life, and so I learned a huge amount from that. There's they've helped with partnerships like with Newstex,
right,
and other, so that a small publication such as ours wouldn't have had access to those, and they provide the access.
Right, that is amazing.
And one of the huge benefits is just being part of this community of nonprofit news creators, because we're all struggling with some of the same membership issues and marketing issues and technical web issues, and just the community and sharing the information. That's been huge. Well,
we are really glad that you are perceiving so many benefits. It is amazing. It is truly amazing what they do. There are many organizations like them around the world, but we are particularly partnered with them for several reasons. And yes, we are really glad. We are working with a bunch of INN publications by now, but we would love to, receive more. And well, I'm really glad that you are perceiving so many benefits from that partnership. So
I think it's huge. I think it's made a whole ecosystem of nonprofit news ventures possible.
Amazing. And I think that being part of that community, as you mentioned, is also very special, right?
Yeah. Yes. Just I've met people, I've gotten ideas.
Exactly. Well, no, Kathryn, thank you so much for your time. Those are all of my questions. If you have anything else that you would like to tell us, or any piece of advice that you would like to share to close this interview, you can go ahead.
I think that's it. If you're interested in environmental science and climate science, check out anthropocenemagazine.org. Go ahead. .org.
Check out this amazing publication. Please, and let us know if you have any other questions that you would like us to ask to Kathryn. Let us know, or you can also reach her. Where we can reach you, Kathryn?
You can reach me through the website, and my address and contact information are
okay. Perfect. So in your website. So let's all go to Anthropocene Magazine and .org and to your events. we will be very attentive to this amazing event that is coming to life
Yeah,
in May.
come see Climate Parables.
Okay,
Line.
perfect.
Find
Thank you for that.
information for that on the website as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that amazing invitation. So thank you once more time for your time on this. And we are really happy to have this interview with you and with your publication in our website, in our social media, and live to all of the amazing publishers that we work with. So one more time, thank you so much and bye.
Okay, good luck.